Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will explain one Python program. It is a small project based on core Python, and here I used JSON file handling system for read and write data to a file. Now I am explaining the program. The program is a small to-do list. At first I will run the program, and after that I will come back to the code portion and I will explain all the codes line by line. Let's run the program. Looks over here. It is the output screen. At first it shows to do menu, and here we are seeing some options: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 for add task, 2 for show tasks, 3 for mark task completed, 4 for show overall completion, which will be displaying by percentage. 5 also show date-wise completion, 6 for edit task, 7 for delete task, and 8 for exiting the program. At first it shows enter your choice. Here user can give wrong input. For example, when user gives alphabet, for example, I am giving A, it shows invalid input because here we should enter from 1 to 8. Now, if user gives wrong input as percentage, then it will similar output. It shows same as the above, it shows invalid input. Now I am giving 9, but 9 is not in the list. It is from 1 to 8. For decision when I am giving 9, let's see what is happening on the output screen. I am giving 9. It shows invalid choice because 9 is not between the choice. That's why it shows invalid choice. Now I will give 1 for adding task. Now I am giving correct input 1. It shows enter task title. It means which task I want to add. That's why I will enter the task, but if I leave it as blank, then what will happen? Let's see. I am giving it as empty, and it shows task cannot be empty because one task should not empty. Now it shows enter task title. I am giving one right task, that is Python. Now it shows task added successfully because Python is not a empty string, it is a valid string. Now I will add another task. For that reason I am giving 1, and here I am giving Java. It shows similarly task added successfully. Now I am giving another task. I am giving DBMS. Now let's see actually what the task is represented on the output screen. That's why I am giving 2 for show the tasks. Looks over here, it shows 1 to 3 from 1 to 3. One task Python status is cross sign. It means it is not completed, it is pending. Date, it is the current date. That means it is today's date, that is 7th December 2025. And then task 2, that is Java status is cross sign, means it is also in pending condition. That's why it shows cross sign date. Similarly, that is today's date, and at last 3, it is very similar as 1 and 2, and it shows task DBMS status is pending. That means cross sign date is the today's date. Now the option number 3 shows mark task completed. By default, the tasks are pending, that is incompleted. But when I want to mark a task as completed, then I will enter 3. Let's see what is happening. I am giving 3. It shows the whole tasks 1 to 3, and here it asks a message enter task number to complete. It means it asks which task you want to complete 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 3. Now I am giving 2. It shows task marked completed. It means the task marked completed which was pending previously. Now let's see what is happening on the show tasks. It shows the task number 2 status is right sign. It means it already completed. That's why it shows the right sign instead of the cross sign. It is the correct way, but if user give wrong input, that means I am showing. Just look on the output screen. I am giving 3. No, it is actually correct way. I want to change the status of the task 1. It shows task mark completed. Actually, I wanting the output when users give wrong input, and that I will show very soon. Now I am coming to the option number 3. It shows the task. Here, if user gives wrong input as alphabet, for example, I am giving A. It shows invalid input. It should number, because here we are seeing that 1, 2, 3. It is integer value. It is not a alphabet. That's why it asks it should a number. That's why the alphabet is not acceptable. Now I will giving 4, but looks over here. Here is no 4. It starts from 1 and ends to 3. That's why when I am giving 4, let's see what is happening. It shows invalid task index because we are seeing that here is no 4. It starts from 1 and it ends with 3. Only 3 tasks are here. For this reason, it shows invalid task index, and the valid format which I already explained 2 times just before some minutes. Now I am giving the option number 4 for showing the overall completion. It shows overall completion 66.67% because here 2 tasks are completed between 3, and that's why it shows. Looks over here, 2 tasks are completed but 1 is pending. That's why it shows the overall completion is 66.67%. Now the option number 5 will discuss after some time, because here is only one date, that is current date. But when I want to see date wise completion, there should be different date, but here is only one date, that is today's date. After editing the date, the option number 5, that is date wise completion, it will be explained. That's why I am coming to the option number 6, that is edit task. In the task number 2 update, similarly, if user gives wrong input as alphabet, that's why, and for this reason I am giving the wrong input as alphabet B. It shows invalid input, it should number. It is very similar as the upper portion which I already discussed, but I am explaining again. It shows enter task number 2 update. Here, if user gives wrong input as 4, I am giving 4. It shows invalid index because here we are seeing only 3 tasks. That's why 4 is not under the task. That's why it shows invalid index. Now I am giving right input. That's why at first I am going to the edit task portion. That's why I am giving 6. It usually comes to the part of the option number 6. It has enter task number 2 update. Now I am giving 2. It shows the task. At first the index 2, then the task is Java, then between the third bracket it is the date of the task, that is 2025 December, and the date is 7th. Now it shows enter new title, leave blank to keep current. It means if user don't need to update the title of the task, he can leave it as blank. That's why it shows this message. But if user wants to change the title, then he or she should enter the new title, and that's why I am giving core Java, which is different from the first. Now it shows each task completed, Y or N. Current is Y. Why? stands for yes, that means already completed. N for not, that is not completed. That means it is pending. Now looks over here to shows right sign. And this means it is completed, but I want to update as pending. That's why I am giving N. Now it shows enter new date. The date format will YYYY. That means the year 2025. It can be another 2024 and for the month and the DD. It is for date. Now it shows the date for the task. Now I will change the date. That's why I will give the date in this format. At first the year I am giving 2025 and then dash. Now I am giving the month, that is 12. Now I am giving the date. Today is 17. Now I am giving 06. It shows task updated successfully. Here feature updated. Here everything has been updated because at first was Java, now for Java. At first was Y, that means the right side. Now N. At first was 7th December, now it is 6th December. That means the all fields are updated. But actually updation is successful or not, for verification reason I am showing the task. That's why I am giving the option number 2. Looks over here. It shows for Java instead of Java status cross, but previously it was right. Looks over here. It was right then. And previously was 7th December. Now seeing what it's showing here, it shows 6. That means updation worked successfully. Now I will show the option number 4. No, actually 4 already explained. Option number 5 for date wise completion. Now I am giving option number 5. Looks over here, it is very nice. It shows date wise completion. 7th December 50%. Looks over here. There are 2 tasks on 7th December. At first 1 and at last 3. One is completed and the other is pending. That's why it shows 50% for 7th December. 7th December is the date for today. And looks over here, it is 6th December. There is one task for December 6th and it shows cross sign, means it is not completed, it actually pending. That's why it is 0% and that's why it shows 0.0%. Now I am coming to the option number 6, which for edit task. It shows all the tasks here 1 2 3. It already explained by me. For this reason I am giving updation, but here will be some different thing. I will give as blank some fields and let's see what is happening. Now I am giving option number 1. At first I was changed the title, but here I will not change the title, it will remain same. That's why I am giving it as blank. Then y or n, I also leaves it as blank. I only update the date. That's why I am giving 2025 December. That means 12. Now 06. That is the day of the December. Now I am entering. It shows the task updated successfully. Now looks over here for option number 2. It shows the task. Looks over here. Updation is successful because the date was previously 7. Now it looks 6. And remaining the fields are same because the fields I left as blank. That's why the fields are same. Now I am coming to the delete task. For this reason I am coming to 7. It shows the tasks 1 2 3. Now I want to delete one task. I am giving as wrong input as a alphabet. As an alphabet A, it shows invalid input. It showed a number. Now I am giving 4, which is not present between the tasks. It shows task index is not valid because here are only 3 tasks. 4 here is not available. That's why it shows the task index is not valid. Now I am again coming to the delete task portion. here I am giving a right input. That means I am giving 1. It shows task deleted successfully, but the deletion is successful or failed. For verification reason, I will show the task again. That's why I am giving 2. It usually shows the task between the JSON file. It shows 2 tasks because 1 already deleted. Here we are seeing that task 1 and 2. One is for date 6 and the other is for date 7. 2 are pending. Now I will show date wise completion. For this reason I am giving 5 border 0.0% because border crossing, that means border pending. Now I will edit one task as completed, then looks over here what is happening. That's the reason I am giving 3 mark task completed. Now I am giving 1. It shows task marked completed. Now I am showing the tasks. Here we are seeing that 1 is completed and the other is pending, and I will show the overall completion. Overall means it will calculate from all dates. Here I am giving 4. It shows 50% because there are only 2 tasks, 1 is completed and the other is pending. That means 50% each done and 50% each pending. That's why it shows 50%. Now I will show date wise completion. For this reason I am giving 5. It shows 2025 12.06 100%, and the other is 0.0% because looks over here, 1 each done, that is for 6th December, and the other is pending, that is for 7th December. That's why it shows 1 is 100% and other is 0.0%. Now I will exit the program. That's why I am giving 8. It shows exiting. This means it exiting the program. Now I am coming back to the code portion. Now I will explain in the code. At first I called the module JSON. It is used for read and write data to a file or from a file. The file format is here JSON format. Now on the second line, I called the module datetime because here I used the current date, and that's why I called the datetime. By this module, I can access the current date, which will automatically assign to the tasks. Now I am coming to the class portion. Here we are seeing that class to do app. We know class name each always starts with capital letter. That's why I wrote T in capital letter. And here it is the constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore. It is the constructor, and here the first parameter is self. We know that between constructor the first parameter is always should self. And here is the file name, that is tasks under file.json. Here save.file name equal to file name. It is the file name where read and write operation will occur. And here it is save.task equal to third bracket starts and third bracket ends. It means it is an empty list. And here save.load underscore tasks, then parenthesis, it will load the task if there is any task between the file. Now I am explaining the load underscore task function. Here we are seeing that there is one parameter self. It is for the instance of the class. I am coming the portion where the instance is declared. Looks over here. Here we are seeing that to do app. What is this? It is the name of the constructor, which I already discussed. And then we are seeing that one parenthesis. What is this? When we wrote this parenthesis, it calls the constructor. Constructor means I am going to the portion. Just wait. Here it is a constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore, and it is invoked when we wrote the parenthesis after the class name. That means it. And here we are saying that app equal to to do app in parenthesis. App is what? It is it is the instance of the class. What is the requirement of the instance? I am explaining. Actually, by the instance, we can access the all parts of the class here. Actually, it is used for accessing the all parts of the class from this portion. That's why I used the instance of the class, that is the app. Now I am going to the portion where I lived from. I am going here. I am explaining the function load underscore task. Then self is for the instance, that is the app. App is an instance. What is this? Here app is instance, and here self holds the instance, that is self holds app. Now here we are seeing that try except. Between try we are opening the file hr. It means it will open in read format, not format. R means it actually opened for reading purpose. Here we wrote, here I wrote with open file name r as if. Here the file is opened for reading purpose, and here data is the variable and initializes with JSON.loadF. It means data will holds the data from the file self.file name. And here we used the here I used the conditional statement if then each instance between the parenthesis data list. It is for verification purpose. Is this data is list or not? When it is list, then I wrote self.tasks equal to data. It means the data will be assigned to the empty list self.tasks. Now, except file not found error, JSON decode error self.task equal to blank. It means when the file is not founded or the data is in wrong way between the file, then this will occur. It is what? It is assigning the list as empty list. Now I am coming to the next portion, that is save tasks. Here cell which for holding the instance of the class, it is holding the instance that each app. Now I am coming to the next portion with open self.file name w as if. It means it is opening the file for writing purpose. Now JSON.dump save.tasks if indent equal to 4. Actually, it writes the data to the file, and indent equal to 4, it is for looking better purpose. Now I am coming to the add task portion, and here we are seeing the first parameter is self, which for holding the instance of the class, and the second is the title, which is passed by the user. Now self.tasks.append, we know that append is one of the built-in function of list for appending something to a list. Here I am appending one dictionary to the list self.tasks. Here the dictionary is title completed false, because by default one task is false, means it is pending, and date time dot now. This means it assigns the current date of the task. That means it assigns the date for today to the task. Now save underscore task then parenthesis. It means it calls the function. It calls the function save underscore tasks then self. It means it is for writing the data to the file. Now I am coming to the next function, that is mark underscore completed. And similarly, the self is the instance of the class. It holds the instance app. Now we are seeing that. No, here leave one portion, print task added successfully. After that, it show one message, task added successfully. Now I am coming to the mark underscore completed function. Here we are seeing that if not saved tasks means when the list is empty, it will print no tasks available. That means there is no tasks and return will returns from here. Now while true, it is the infinite while loop and here one variable is num equal to input, enter task number to complete. Actually, num is the reference which will takes input from the user on runtime and it shows one message, enter task number to complete. But the input string if is not digit, then there will problem. It will show invalid input, it should number and will continue the loop until it gets the correct data. And when it is each digit means it is integer, then index equal to int num minus 1. Actually, what is this? It is for actually I shows the data from 1, which will explain after sometimes. That's why I wrote num minus 1. Then break. Break means breaks from here, and this part will discuss after some minutes. Now I am coming this part. Here is the conditional statement if 0 less than equal to index less than len of save.tasks. It means what? We know that index starts from 0, that's why I wrote 0 less than equal to index. That means it can be 0 or bigger from 0 and it always less than of length of save.tasks means it is not equal to length of the save.task. That's why here I used less than sign. Now save.task index then completed equal to true. It means actually by default it is pending, that means it is false, but here I want to complete the task, that's why I wrote true instead of false. Then I call the save tasks function for saving the data to the file. Now it will print task marked complete, task marked completed. It means it marked the task as complete. Else invalid task index. When the index is not between this range, it will show the message invalid task index. Now I am coming to the edit task portion. But at first I show this portion, after that I will come to the edit portion. Here, if not several tasks means when the list is empty, it will show no tasks available and return will return from here. And when the list is not empty, then it comes to this part, print your tasks, and here I used the enumerate function for I task in enumerate several tasks and then 1. Actually, what is this? Actually, 1 means it starts from 1, but we know that index starts from 0. But if the list of the tasks starts from 0, it will not good to see. That's why I wrote 1. That means by default, not by default, actually it starts from 1. It will be very good for looking. And here I used status equal to right sign if task completed, else plus sign means when task is completed, it will show right sign. But else means when it's not completed, that means when pending, it will show the cross sign, that is for pending purpose. Now I used the built-in function print for printing string, and here I used the f string for formatting the message. Here I used I, then task, task title, status, date, task date. It means it will at first show the index number, which usually starts from 1 here, but by default it starts from 0. It starts from 1 and then task title, status, date, task date. It means it will print the at first task title, then status, either right sign or cross sign, then the date. Now I am coming to the edit portion. Looks over here. At first, if not save.tasks, it will print no tasks for edit. It means there is no task because of the empty list, and return will returns from here. And now I used the infinite while loop. That's why I wrote true. Now it is the reference, and it will take input from the user. User will see one message, enter task number to update. User will keep the task number for updation. Now we are seeing that if num is digit, when the number is digit, then index equal to int of number minus 1. Here it is typecasted to integer and minus 1 because here we want to hit the index. That means minus 1 because here on the displaying portion I start from 1, that's why I subtract from 1. Actually it hits the correct index, that's why I subtract 1 from the num variable, and breaks from here, and else print invalid input. It should number. It means what? It shows one message when by mistakenly users give wrong input. When user gives alphabet, then it will show this error message, and the continue will continues the loop again until it gets the correct input. Now here I verify the index is valid or not. That's reason usually I used here the conditional statement if 0 less than equal to index less than length of self.task, and here it means index should be either 0 or greater equal to 0, but not equal to or greater than to length of self.task. It should always less than of length of the list. And here task is one variable. It stores the data of self.task and the index number, and it shows the message editing task, then the index, then the task title, then the task date. It shows why, because before editing it shows the message, then user can decide either he will update or not. That's why this line shows the output for the targeted task. Now new underscore title, then I used the input for text input from the user. It shows one message, enter new title between the first bracket. It shows leave blank to keep current. It means what? Actually I am explaining. When user no need for updation the title, it means user wants to keep the title as the previous, then he or she will leave it as blank. It means it remains same. That's why it shows the message leave blank to keep the current value. And when user gives something, here we are seeing that the conditional statement if then the variable new underscore title. This means what? This means actually when the reference new underscore title holds something not blank, then it will occur. Not occur, it executes. Then task title equal to new underscore title. This means the new underscore title will assign between task title. Now status underscore input is one reference. Similarly, it will take input from the user. It shows one message, each task completed, yn, current y, if task completed, else n. It means if the task is completed, it shows y, means yes. But when not completed, that means when pending, it shows n for not. It means not completed, that means it is pending. Here we used dot lower than parenthesis because if user gives capital N or capital Y, then it converts to the lowercase. That's why I wrote dot lower than parenthesis. Now I used the conditional statement if, then status underscore input, then equal to y. When the input is y, then it will update the status of the task equal to true. This means it has been completed. But when users give in, this means not. That means it is false. It will update with false value. Now I am coming to the next variable, that is new underscore date. It could be referenced in better way. Now new underscore date is reference, then input enter new date, leave blank to keep current. Actually it takes input from the user and this will show the date for the task. Then if user don't need to update the date, then he or she can leave it as blank. But when he or she gives some new date, gives one new date, then if new underscore date, it means when the field is not empty. Then I used try except between the try date time dot strp time new underscore date, then percentage y percentage m percentage d. It means when the date is valid, then it will assign to the task date, and when it's not valid except value error, it will show invalid date format keeping previous date. It means it will not update the date, it will keep as previous. And now I am called a save tasks function for not functions. When I wrote some functions between the list, it is usually one method. Now save underscore task, then parenthesis, it is called for writing data to the file. It will now print task updated successfully. Else invalid index. Actually else means when the index is not valid, then else will execute and it will show one message invalid index. Now so task has been already explained. Now I am coming to the next portion, completion underscore percentage, and then one parameter cell which I already explained. And if not saved a task means when it is empty, it will show no tasks available. Return 0, it means returns from here, and done. Done will store number of the completed task. Now I am explaining. Of done is one reference and it will store the number of tasks completed. Here T will hold one task at a time from the saved tasks, and that's why I used the for loop. And here T will hold one task at a time from the saved task lists, and if the task is completed, then the done reference will be incremented. Not incremented, actually done will store the total number of the completed tasks between the saved tasks. Now I wrote return count, then parenthesis, then done by length of the list into 100, then comma 2. Actually, what is this? It is a very simple thing. It is for the calculation of percentage of completion. That's why I wrote this. And round is what? It will show the values after decimal up to 2 digits. That's why I wrote comma then 2. And here it is simple mathematics for calculating percentage. Now I am coming to the next portion, that is completion percentage by date. It means it will show the percentage of completion as per date, and cell which already explained by me. That's why here I am not explaining. Now I am coming to the inner part. Here not if not saved tasks, it means when it is empty, it will print one message, no tasks available, and return will returns from here. And here we are seeing that one empty dictionary, which is stats for T in saved tasks. It means T will hold one at a time from the saved tasks. Now states.set report T date done 0 total 0. Actually it is used for calculate the number of total tasks and the number of completed tasks against each date. And here stats T date total plus equal to 1. It means it incremented the tasks one by one. This is a total number of tasks. It is not only the completed task. It each included with completed and pending tasks. It is the total tasks. Now, if T completed, then that's T date done equal to 1. Actually, it is incremented by 1 when it finds the completed task. Actually, it will store the total completed task. Now I am coming to the next portion, print date-wise completion. It is for heading purpose. Now for date val in stats or items. Here stats is one dictionary. That's why I wrote this. Date is the key and val is for value. And here percent equal to percent each reference round. Already I explained the thing about round and comma 2, it means it will calculate up to 2 decimal points. Actually, at first val done, it means the total completed task, and here val total, it means the total task, and then into 100 and comma 2, it is for rounding the result up to 2 decimal points. Now it will print date percent, it means it will show percentage against each date. Now normally it will print for showing purpose. Now I am coming to the next portion. It is for deletion purpose. Delete underscore task, then self. If not saved the tasks, print no tasks to delete. It means when the list is empty, usually it will show one message, no task to delete, and return will returns from here. Now while true is for infinite while loop, and here num is the reference, and it will take input from the user on runtime. User will see one message, enter task number to delete, and it is for verification purpose. If num dot each digit, when the inputted value each digit, then it will store. Actually, here is another reference index, and it will store the value, not the value. It will subtract one from the value. It is for hitting to the current index. That's why I subtracted it from one, because usually user gives the input as per the displaying uh, displaying value, and that's why for hitting to the correct index I subtracted one from the value of num. Then break will break from here, and else will show print invalid input it shoot number when it execute. Actually, when if does not execute, then else will execute. Now if 0 less than equal to index less than len of self dot task, it means it is for verification purpose. Is index valid or not? And we always know that index starts from 0, and if with less than of len of several tasks, that means len of list minus 1. Now simply I use the del keyword for deleting the deleting the task. Del several tasks and between the term bracket index. Now I called the method save underscore task for saving the data to the file. And usually it will print the message task deleted successfully. And when this if is not working, then else will works, and it will show task index is not valid. Now I am coming to the main portion. Here app is the instance of the class to app. Now while true, it is for infinite loop. Actually, it is used for menu driven program. Here the program is menu driven. That's why I used this infinite while loop. And here we are seeing that 1 for add task, 2 for show tasks, 3 for mark task completed, 4 for show overall completion. That will showing in percentage. 5 for show date wise completion. That will also showing in percentage. 6 for edit task, 7 for delete task, 8 for exit. Now, this portion will checks input from the user. Here is also another infinite while loop, and here I used try except. Here the reference choice will takes input from the user, but if user gives wrong input, then it will occur. It will print invalid input and continue will uh, execute the loop again until it gets the valid input. But when the input is valid, it breaks from here. Now when users give 1, then this part will occur. Here I used the infinite while loop for title purpose. Here the title is the reference which will takes input from the user. User will gives input, but if users give input as blank, then else will occur and it show one message. It will show one message. Task cannot be empty and continue will continues the loop until it gets the correct data. It should not blank. That's why I wrote title not equal to blank and then app.add underscore task title. Actually, add task is a method. Here it is called with the argument title and it will go to the function add task, which I already explained previously. Now I am coming this part. When choice is true, then simply app.show underscore task, then parenthesis app is the instance of the class and show underscore task is the function or method. It will be called and when 3 it is for mark completion purpose. But at first I called show task for showing all the tasks. Then user can decide which task is completed or not. Then after showing the task, user will give input for marking complete. Now when 4, it will show one message overall completion. And here I called the method completion underscore percentage. Now I am coming to the next portion that is 5. Then I called app.completion underscore percentage underscore y underscore date. Then parenthesis actually app is an instance it used for accessing the method from the class. It is the method that is completion underscore percentage underscore by underscore date then parenthesis. When users will give 6, then at first it will show a task and then it will call the method edit underscore task. This method already explained by me previously. Now I am coming to the next part that is for 7. At first it will show a task and now I am calling the method delete underscore task for deleting the task. At last when users will give it will print one message and it will show one message exiting triple dot and breaks from the program. And at last when not at last actually when user will give input not between 1 to 8 then it will show one message invalid choice and between here I am calling the main function. That's all about today's to-do list. Thanks for watching.